everybody. Welcome to the Fire It Up with CJ show. Today we're going to be talking to Gary Quinn about the yes frequency. So I assume we're going to be saying yes a lot during this
That's
interview,
right.
Gary. Yes. No, we're not. Okay. So tell me a little bit about you're coming to Seattle. So you're going to be coming on January 19th to Seattle and doing a presentation on this whole idea. So what is the yes frequency and how did you come up with it?
I was actually, and by the way, I haven't been to Seattle since 2001 with my first book. So
Yes.
this is kind of a celebration of, I try to pick cities that I really loved, and I really loved Seattle when I came there. So this will be a sort of a reunion to come home to.
Wow.
The yes frequency came about probably 10 years ago. I was traveling throughout Europe with one of my books. I think it was Living in the Spiritual Zone book. And I was teaching in Germany. And when I walked into the event, it was about 7 o'clock at night, and the energy was very low and heavy. And I mean, it was so heavy, you could cut it with a knife. And
Mm-hmm.
I basically said, I don't think anything I say to these people is going to help them. And I really did a little meditation before I started. And I said, what do I tell these people? Because I feel the room before I start speaking. And then the download of the information comes in. And the universe said, make them stand up, hold their hands up to the ceiling, and repeat yes 150 times.
150 times?
150
That's
times.
a lot.
They stood up, they did this,
So like
and
yes,
yeah,
yes, yes,
yes,
like that.
yes,
Okay.
yes, exactly. And a client of mine who was a well-known actor in Germany who I hadn't seen in many years, he witnessed this and he said, "Oh my goodness, Gary, whatever you did with that yes work, you need to create something because I saw the shift." The people became happier, they opened up, they started to have a different energy, and then that was the synergy that started this work. And then I started testing it in Zurich, I tested it in Japan, I tested it in England, everywhere, Mexico, everywhere I was teaching. I would make everybody stand up and do
Wow,
yes.
that's
And
fascinating.
would say, "Oh, did you get this from the movie The Yes Man?" And I said, "No, I hadn't seen that." And I saw that movie finally 3 years ago on a flight to Tokyo. And I thought it was really funny because it is kind of the yes frequency, but it was taking it a little bit to the extreme to
Yeah.
make it funny. But just by saying yes, you're giving yourself the permission to unlock the subconscious mind, which is years and years of energy that's either blocked, that's either self sabotage, that's either anger, that's either resentment, or that's either some kind of energy that is trying to heal. So with the word yes, you're basically saying go, yes, my soul is ready to open up and
Hmm.
receive the healing. And then part of the yes frequency is the two-parter is to really start to forgive.
Hmm.
I'd say 85 to 90% of my work is forgiveness
Hmm.
because unless you can forgive yourself and anybody that either shamed you, hurt you, or did something, you really can't upload all these positive affirmations and spiritual energy. It's not going to stick.
Give me an example of what you mean. So I know you talk about the forgiveness frequency,
Yeah.
but so why would the yes frequency not work if I haven't forgiven my best friend for cheating on me? Or give me an example of how that
Yes,
works.
because basically your cells as a child have opened up and received information of everything that's happened to you. So, say your boyfriend cheated on you
Hmm.
and you broke up and you had a terrible situation. And what happened was that you became angry and destructive, and that anger went into your cellular level. It went down like planting trees into your forest, And then it starts to take place in every area of your life because you haven't really healed that. Because basically, you're holding the anger or the situation in your energy, not his. So the people sometimes they say, well, the forgiveness is sometimes confusing because why am I forgiving him? I'll never forgive him. But you're really not forgiving him. You're forgiving the emotional behavior that he did that was causing you an emotional reaction, which was hurt, anger, pain. So what I do is I take a person when we do a healing, when I coach them, I take them through every area of their life, meaning starting from age 5 to whatever age they are now. It sometimes takes several hours, but it works. So what we do is we
Wait,
write.
age 5. So you actually do a whole life mapping of their forgiveness.
Yes,
Wow.
because if you don't forgive that CJ, they can't move forward. And once they start to go there, meaning my mother who told me I was stupid growing up.
Oh, that's
Uh,
mine. Did you pick up mine? Did you
I-
do that? You psychically? Yes, that is one of mine. Yes.
okay, so here's what you would do. Mother made you the intention that she said or the action was that she said you were stupid.
Hmm.
The result was CJ felt. What did you feel? You
Oh, I
felt
constantly have to prove that I'm not stupid.
okay,
Or
and
I
you
feel
felt
like I hiddenly fear that I am stupid.
yes, but you probably as a child you probably felt there's something wrong with me.
Right.
I'm I'm stupid. I'm not like other kids.
Right.
So then the next person might be the father, or it might be a teacher. It might be a sibling that did the same thing or betrayed you.
Hmm.
And then the same energy that you're left with would be anger, hurt, sad.
Okay, yeah. So my dad
So
also emphasized you have to be smart, and my brother was extremely, almost genius level smart, which it was I was always paled in comparison. So I had like this whole story. So you're saying I have this like true force now that has grown up
exactly.
inside of me.
And
Okay.
that's so interesting because my sister was very smart, and I always went, my mom has a PhD. I always thought I was stupid.
Oh, I love you,
And
Gary.
I didn't heal that until, even people said, are you a doctor? You've written all these books. And I still felt stupid. I
Yeah.
felt, yeah, I'm not a doctor, but I had to heal that in order to say, no, I'm really smart.
Right.
But it was so stuck in the subconscious until I healed it, I couldn't move forward.
Hmm.
And I had a real block for like 3 years. I didn't write anything. And
Oh.
the publisher said, why aren't you writing anything? I kept saying in my head, I'm stupid.
Wow.
I have nothing to say. And I had to go back and really look at that because I kept saying, why am I blocked? Why do I have nothing to say? Until I started to acknowledge and forgive that. And it was my own doing. It wasn't that they said I was stupid.
Right.
I was just
You
comparing
believed
myself
it. Yeah, you believed that it was true. So what
because
was the
also because
process?
I got bad grades in math. So
Oh.
I thought I must be stupid.
Right. Me too when I was in second grade, and then I was so terrified that I started becoming a math major because I so didn't want to have bad grades in math and be disappointing that I actually became a math major. How stupid is that? Anyhow, so
So
how did
once
you
you
heal
feel
yourself?
that, once
Yes.
you say, CJ, you would say, I forgive my mother for anything and everything. And you would say that at least 25 times. Usually the emotion starts to come up probably after the second or third forgiveness of each person. So what's happening is you're opening the cell to release all your cells, to release the trauma, to release the anger, to release the disappointment or the
Mm,
shame, so that it heals and it's a detox. It's a spiritual detox. So
interesting.
after you do this, people get very angry and they call me and they said, what did you do to me? I'm so angry this week. And I said, well, you're having a spiritual, emotional detox. Um,
I see. Oh, it's yeah, okay, got it. So it's just like anything that you do, anytime you detox, all the like negative like toxins start coming out of your pores.
exactly, exactly. So,
Interesting.
so after you do this process, which sometimes can take several hours,
Yes.
you then can start to activate the positive energy of I am love and joy and balanced. I accept myself as a smart, balanced, loving person. Boom, it closes up. All the trees, the plants, the seeds go back into your forest as we keep watering it, saying, I am confident, I am strong, I'm letting go of the past, I'm identifying my goals, I'm setting my intention, I'm actually taking responsibility of where I am right now. Then your trees start growing that are positive trees of happiness, joy, confidence, spirituality, new opportunity, and miracles. So, what I
Mm.
teach then is how to create the language of miracles. Because the way we speak, the way
Mm-hmm.
we think, is actually connected to the yes core codes of saying yes. You're opening the door, but then you're delivering the affirmation or the positive intent.
Okay, got it. Okay, got it. So, like some of these ideas, like when you, the in your book, you have, I'm an incredible, adventurer traveling the world. My work as a life coach affords me endless choices. Like, are those are
Yeah,
the kinds of
those are,
things?
those are the intentions that you're putting into the universe.
Okay,
But you're still saying yes because the yes is almost the frosting on the cake or the cupcake.
okay,
You're saying yes, okay, here's the cupcake. Let me make the ingredients, which are you're a successful life coach, you have a new career, you're shifting into coming out of a bad relationship and getting into your relationship with yourself, really starting to honor yourself,
mm-hmm.
really starting to look at what is this life about? This life is really finding your authentic self,
Mm-hmm.
finding that authentic joy. Because if you are looking outside yourself, thinking, well, if I have more money, I'll feel better. If I have a hit book, I'll feel happy. If I have a great relationship, I'll be so happy. No, the key is to activate it first inside. Everything is so within, so without. If we take that inspiration of power and know that the faith starts with the intention of knowing that there is nobody like you and that you are an incredible being no matter where or who you are, and that you must honor yourself and you must not look at life as a disappointment or I should have or I would have, and that you really have to have no regrets. And we have to look at life as an urgency of oneness, but thinking, what do I need to do if I only had 6 months left in this experience?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then your priorities might shift, and you might say, this is what I need to do right away.
Mm. Okay, so I feel like I'm getting a like what's so fascinating when you're talking to me, and I don't know if you're purposely doing this or I feel the energy coming from you. There's a different sense in your eyes, and it's almost like you're talking to a different part of me. There's CJ that's consciously sitting in the chair, and then there's some other CJ that is listening to this going, "Yes, yes, yes, whatever he's saying, absolutely yes." I've never had that happen before. It's really fascinating the way that you. I would encourage everyone to go rewind this and listen it to again because I'm feeling the energy. Who are you talking to? Because I feel like you're talking to some aspect of our being that is not
Yes.
necessarily an aspect that's even talked to.
Right. And the thing is that when it happens, I have no control over it. I'm letting it flow because it's the surrendering to the information of what is needed in the world. And when we look at what's happening in the world, we really have to say, what am I doing in the world and how am I making a difference? Many years ago, when I first started doing this, I found myself somehow doubting, is this what I'm supposed to do?
Mm.
And, I know we're always looking for signs from the universe. And I used to teach in London all the time. And I spoke at an event called Alternatives there. And I just said, I was at a point in my career, in my life, that I said, is this what I'm supposed to do? I have no clue. Show me. I was just having a moment of confusion, or I was lost. And that happens because we're human, we're not robots. So I did a prayer on the way to the event in Piccadilly Circus, and I rode the tube. And while I was sitting on the tube, I just went into a meditation, and I asked Spirit and the higher energies, I need a sign tonight. I'm speaking about this book, Living in the Spiritual Zone, but I don't know what I'm supposed to say to this group of people. I walked into this church, which is the 14th century church. Many people have taught there, everybody from Pam Grout, Deepak, Marianne Williamson, everybody's been there. And I knew the owners, and they brought me in, and I had to arrive at 6 o'clock, and I was speaking at 7 for about an hour. And I was supposed to talk about living in the spiritual zone, which was the second book. And when I walked in, CJ, the man said, "Oh my God, Gary, there's only 20 people here. I hope we get more." And I said, "You know what? I know the energy will be right." And because I was in this intention, I'm going to get a sign. And I did a little energy shift when I walked into this church. And William Shakespeare used to write in this church in the
Oh,
1400s. So
yes.
it had massive history, massive energy. And I walked in, and I told the gentleman, I said, "Steve, I know it's going to be full." Which it sat about 300, 400 people. And I walked in, I went backstage, did a little prayer, just sat there. And by 6:30, it was practically half full. At 6:45, it was completely full.
Wow.
I walked on stage, CJ, and I said, "Okay, show me what I'm supposed to say." I felt the room, and I started speaking, and I left my body.
Mm.
And I don't know what I was channeling, whether I was channeling Gandhi. I started to hear people crying in the
Oh.
audience. And I would catch myself going, "Oh my God, what am I saying?" And I spoke for about 45 minutes, nothing about the book. It was whatever they needed.
Oh, wow.
After the event, people came up to me, and they kept saying, "Who are you? We've never heard of you," or what, where are you coming from? We felt so connected. And so then after that was one of my signs. And after the event, they do a circle with the staff. And everybody said that everybody who's spoken there, from Deepak to Marianne, they'd never seen that energy happen from someone who was talking in that space. So that was my sign to keep going.
Mm. Oh, that is beautiful. Wow, that is a story. That's a
Yeah,
fantastic
yeah.
story. I want to tell you about something interesting that happened to me this morning.
Mhm.
So I was trying to write. I was forcing myself to write at 4 a.m. in the morning, and despite my best efforts, two computers went down, and I thought, okay, it's time to go do yoga. So I did yoga, and I was focusing on breathing in love and feeling the support of the ground, and breathing in love and supporting the ground. And and the thing I was trying to write is a letter to my dead father.
Uh-huh.
Um, and and this pain in my heart that I've had for a really long time, and didn't know what it was. I've tuned in, done meditations, like tuned in, couldn't figure it out. So I went in to do this yoga practice, and I I was listening to, I don't even know what song came up, but I was doing this breathing in love, feeling foundation. And then at the end, you do Shavasana when you're down on the ground. And when I did that, I felt a sense of holding, like I was in the hand of God's palm and just feeling like love. And I realized that what had happened is that my dad had gave me that sense of holding, and the thing in my heart was the resistance to let go of him for fear that if I didn't have his love in my heart someplace as a memory, even though he's passed, that I wouldn't have a sense of holding and love by the universe. Then I came home and I read your book, The Self-Love Frequency, and I thought, okay, how brilliant is that? This guy Gary is even like entered in my life. He doesn't even realize he's entering into my life.
That's great,
I
CJ.
thought that was fascinating. So tell us about the self-love frequency because I just found that fascinating.
When we start to look at what love means, people have different, let's say, interpretations of what love is. I sometimes ask people, what does love mean to you? Some people think, oh, it's a puppy dog, it's a warm feeling, it's chocolate. Yes, that is a cause and effect of something that makes you feel something. But really, self-love, I believe, is really honoring yourself and looking at all the points of yourself, the good points and the bad points, and loving those no matter what, and really not really sabotaging, looking as if you're damaged goods because this happened to you. I think if we look at life as not being damaged, and it's an experience, everything we've ever done has brought us to this consciousness. And that when we look at this and we're not angry with the past, we make friends with the past. We make friends that, yes, I can be happy, I can be sad, I can be stupid, I can be funny, I can be smart, and I can be sometimes retarded,
Right.
or not retarded, but let's say slow.
Right.
Retarded's a bad word. I think that the key here is to really look at what keeps us from love is not honoring ourselves, but opening up to know that love is something you came into this life already having.
Mm-hmm.
We've given it away or we've shut it off because of something that we either looked at and said, oh, that is taking away my love. But I don't think people came into this life to suffer or to find love. I think they sometimes misplace it. But I think at the end of the day, you come in with love, you leave with love. And you don't take your watch, you don't take your car, you don't take your, material things. And it's really about learning that this life is important and that we take it so for granted and that every moment is a new beginning. And that if we can start to feel the energy of how that love feels within, we fill ourselves up with that as opposed to keeping ourselves busy. Mm-hmm. Yes, we all keep ourselves busy. And sometimes when we take a break and we stop because we're moving around so much, the universe then has us reflect on what we are about in our lives, but what we really would like to become. And it's just self-love is really honoring yourself, but saying, I accept myself for who I am, for what I've done, where I'm going, and what's the future. It's now. It's the love energy of being. And I think people are so, stuck on, yes, we all need financial abundance. We all need some kind of path. And I think just to find your authentic self, you have to find authentic love. Mm-hmm. And once you find the authentic love, then you can speak to your higher self, to your subconscious and your conscious mind, heal what is needed by loving yourself. Because if you really can't love yourself, you really can't love anyone else. It becomes a false love. So in let's say, the fairy tale of love, people think, I'm going to find this person that's going to make me feel love. But that is a false love. If you have that internal love or that fire, it spills over into everybody and you love everybody. And I know it's hard because you say, yes, but they're this or they have this religion. We get into judgment and then that creates fear and power. And I think what happens is our world becomes based on fear and power, deception, instead of just the frequency of staying happy and in love. there's people all over the world that cannot find happiness or love.
Mm. It's so I think the key parts that resonate for me is the sense of having to find that love internally, loving myself without, even though my dad has passed, I have a loving husband, I have loving children, I have a lot of loving friends, but really, do I love myself? And the little part inside of me was like I was externalizing, saying, "Oh, my dad loves me, but he left, and now I have a sense of, oh, I'm lost without him." But then it's really like I'm lost without me because I have not necessarily found that love inside of me. So what is when if someone is facing the same, everyone faces this, right? If you are actually have want to get back into the self-love frequency, what is it one to do?
Yes, I think the key is to really start to ask yourself the right questions. Am I getting what I want out of life? Um, do I really honor myself to not shortchange myself in being a doormat? We take on the archetypes. So I think the key is to really start to write down what are the best points of myself. To say when people say, "What is CJ about?" When if you walk in a room and you meet 50 people and they all talk to you and they say, "CJ, she's so wonderful." So you would say, what is my when I leave the room, what are they going to say about CJ?
Yep.
She's smart, she's loving, she's intelligent, she's kind, she's joyful, she seems full of wisdom. So that internally has to go into your subconscious and your love circle to say, those are the words I need to work with. I need to honor that and say, today I am full of wisdom.
Mm.
Today I accept great love. Today I am full of joy. You know,
Mm.
people say, because I use affirmations all the time, and people say, yes, but they don't work. Well, the reason they don't work is because you're not saying them enough, or you haven't attached the emotional state of being with the words. So by repeating it over and over, eventually your subconscious connects to the conscious mind to say it fits. It's like when an actor delivers a line that's spot on if they're doing voiceovers. And for example, when Meryl Streep takes on a role, she eats the part. If she was going to play someone who is going to be a spiritual
Right.
teacher, if she was going to be playing someone who is authentically loving, joyful, she would start to eat these words. She would start to meditate. She would start to connect to what are the good points of herself. She would start to be joyful, create the dialogue. If you were inspirational and loving, what would be the dialogue that CJ would say? She might say to just in the grocery store when she does shopping, "Good morning. That's such a beautiful color on you. It's such a great day." And the woman, and I do this all the time, when I go to the grocery store all over the world, I speak to everybody.
Me too.
And people look at me like, "Oh my God, you actually acknowledged me." And I go, "How are you?" And if they say, "Oh, the rain, I don't like the rain," you should say, it's so wonderful it's raining. The plants love the rain. The animals are actually getting some fresh water.
Right.
It's going to be a great day for you. Or whatever it is that you're giving acknowledgement. That little bit of acknowledgement might be the fuel that ignites their love button.
Mm.
Because nobody ever gave that to them. They're looking for it.
Mm. So here's the interesting. So what I'm hearing you say is that you actually look in the example that you gave in actually empowering yourself with self-love. You thought of like, what are people saying about me? And actually, the adjectives that you came up with are what people say about me. I don't know if you channeled that or what, but they are actually very similar to what people say about me, except for me, kind is a word that I was like, oh. I can't be Meryl Streep about that. I can't own that word because I don't think of myself as kind. Mostly because my husband is the kindest person on earth. So my metric for claiming that is really, really high. So I'm sure other people have that where they so, and actually, the funny thing is, in their list, one of the questions is like, "What adjective do you wish people would use for you?" And I said, "Kind." And so here's a gap between who I believe I am on the inside, who I would like to be, and there's a gap. So, what does one do when there is a gap?
Then what you have to do is you have to eat more kindness. And that means you have to do more kind things that you normally don't do to have a shift. We have to take action to do something more in order to get a response. If we do nothing every year or every month, we're really not going to get a result because you're not doing something different. If you started writing notes of kindness to friends or just giving them little muffins, a basket of organic cookies that you baked or you bought, it doesn't matter.
Right.
You're doing something different that shows a different form of kindness that they will say, wow, that's amazing that she's actually really kind,
Mm,
and you will feel their love or their energy.
mm,
So I think if you want more love, you need to give away more love. If you
yes.
want more kindness, you need to give away more kindness.
Mm, mm,
Everywhere in the world, I have amazing people who spoil me, but I spoil people, friends. I always give them, I always take, and that's what I love about when I go to Japan. When I first started going there, I was so shocked when people would bring me gifts. Every day, a client would bring me a beautiful, and it was so beautifully wrapped. I was so touched. So I started giving them gifts.
oh,
So every
sweet.
time I would go to Japan, I take a bag full of stuff and I give things from Hollywood or magnets. I sometimes
Oh, they
I
must have
make them up.
loved that.
So I'm always, and I do that in Italy. I gave away bracelets. I gave away because I think people just want to. I always love getting stuff. So so I give away stuff. So it's about really that changing your behavior of having no attachment to anything.
Mm, mm,
You're giving away joy, you're giving away love. You're giving away a sweater that you never wore, but you spent a lot of money and you gave it to your neighbor who loved it, who
right,
said, oh my God, this is my dream sweater.
right.
You know,
But giving it out of love. See, I would do that and be like, I'm giving it out of guilt because I felt really bad about buying the sweater. But I love how it's like giving out of love changes the whole
okay,
equation
so
of it.
so this year, before the end of the year, starting today, you
Yes,
have to start giving out of love.
I will.
And
I do. And I think actually I do it more out of obligation. So
uh,
I had a whole bunch of coaching sessions before meeting with you, and they should have been a half an hour, but I just really wanted to know more. And so I wanted to do a good job. It wasn't because like I love my client. I do love my client actually, and I do really want the best for him. Actually, that is probably wrong why I did it. But you know what I mean? There's also the sense of obligation and wanting to do a good job that was also there with me that, met from instead of meeting for half an hour, I met for an hour, which is like I didn't really have the time, frankly, but whatever. I thought, well, I'll just make the time because it's important. But still, I think it's the spirit in which you come out of it instead of going, oh God, this should have been half an hour and this is an
right,
hour. Just going like, okay, who cares? I loved it. It was great
yeah,
meeting this person.
yeah, yeah.
I'm going to recolor the past.
Okay, good.
Recolor that picture.
As we start getting our life in balance, we get the love, we get the forgiveness. We then have to create a mission statement. If
Hmm.
you were a new company and you started to say, I need to have a mission for my life, my career, my path, the mission statement is really about setting your intention. And I'll do a intention for you, a mission statement, and you tell me if this works. And you can add, or
Okay.
you can
Okay. Why don't you channel one for me and then I'll tell you what I wrote because I'm curious what you're
okay,
going to
okay.
channel.
All right, here we go. I am an international spiritual teacher, life coach, empowerment instrument, creating healing confidence through my work, through my television, through my media, through my books, through my audio, inspiring people, healing people, and creating incredible balance in all areas of my life. And I have total balance and healing and joy and love from my family, my husband, my friends, and that I have a whole, healthy, balanced body full of excitement and incredible opportunities with financial abundance, and that everything comes to me in divine right timing, and that I am happy, joyful, and full of inspiration.
Wow, that's like 95% there. It's missing freedom, which I actually
Okay.
care about dearly, and it's missing fun.
Okay. So you
Fun
can
and
have,
freedom, but that's pretty darn close. My summary was to live, to laugh, to listen, to learn, to help people in their path to wholeness, oneness, and happiness. It's interesting you kept on mentioning healing because I that's the thing that I keep on running away from. But that is, I think, probably regardless. Anytime I talk to an intuitive person, they say healing. So here is an example, right? Something that I've heard, I'm not owning. And I don't necessarily want to go and like the muffins and kindness. I don't want to go and like heal a bunch of people. I don't want to do hands-on healing.
no, 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 that's not what that means.
Okay. Yeah.
Healing means that you're sending the energy of empowering people to balance through your words. Through your words, you are actually healing. Through
Ah,
your vibration and frequency, you are healing. It's almost like when they talk about the power of prayer, it's sending the energy of healing. It's
yes.
sending the intention of the vibration heals. So I'm not saying you have to go be a Reiki master or give muffins to heal people. That's a kindness energy, but you're sending that energy daily when you see someone on the street, when
Hmm.
you speak to someone. It's your energy that your frequency is sending out.
Okay. And I
So
do, people will meet me and coach and they'll say, I just feel so much better. I don't even know what happened. So it's kind of a lighten
this
people
is
up.
where I want you to acknowledge that you now accept the balanced healing, the frequency, so that you upgrade to it's almost like, when someone sings opera and they're able to break glasses,
Yes.
that's where you're going to. You're bringing the healing, you're bringing that energy to all the work you've done already, but you're uplifting the whole package so that when you sing, all the glasses break because you're
Mm,
at the frequency that heals people.
I
See how
see. Got it.
if
Yes.
you're at a
Yes.
lower vibration, you're not able to uplift the energy.
I see. So if you have these resistance, so we given examples in my personal case, but when people read the book, the S frequency, they're going to come up with their own resistance to things, like things that they're not owning, things that they're not moving forward on, and then things that I misunderstood in my case, right? So it's about how to keep on amping it up so that you own, like you said, shattering the glass so that I actually own my ability. If I owned what I'm saying and saying that every single thing that I say heals some things, heals someone, brings energy and power and life to someone, you would say it in a different way, I think.
Absolutely, because your clarity is power. That
Hmm.
when we start to get clear with our lives and who we are, we start to move forward because there's no obstruction, there's no limit to our
Mm.
thinking. When we become limits and put limits or attachments to our boxes that we sometimes put ourselves in, we stop ourselves from being, we stop ourselves from living. And this moment is about really expanding that. And I think everybody in life and everybody out there watching this and your soul, our souls, is about expansion of the healing for life. expansion of putting the vibration of love all over the world. I think that everybody says yes, but what can I do? I think that everybody in our communities, in our schools, and children are the wave of the future. That if everybody came into alignment with this thought, the planet would be healed on all levels. And I know people say that's pie in the sky, but I think that the miracle is the dream to create change. And when we start to continue to believe, we will receive. When we stop that, then that's when people get into trouble.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I have some questions for you about. So you actually have the frequency of your words. That's interesting. And then there was a piece in here. I can't even find it anymore about success frequency. And when
Yes.
I tuned in, and I thought, am I missing? This is one of those things, and the purification frequency. So I want to talk about what those are. So when you said international, star, and I was like, oh, brother, so there's not, it's not, I'm not raising my vibration to that level. So anything like that I heard that I thought, oh, I don't know if I want to do TV. That when you said that, that's kind of what happened inside of me.
You
It's,
stopped it. And that was, once again, you blocked it on some reason, because you could be doing TV and just be from your house. It doesn't matter. You don't have to fly to Australia. You-
ah,
So you've got to think limitless. There are no boundaries now with technology. So if there's resistance into something, it means we need to look at it. But it also means the success factor is you maybe have to step into the process of saying, am I sabotaging?
mm,
Self-sabotaging without even knowing. It might be your subconscious that's sabotaging.
mm-hmm,
So you also have to forgive yourself for anything and everything. When you forgive yourself for anything and everything, you're forgiving the bad habits you have of self-sabotaging, not believing, maybe judgment. And we get out of this energy of really of getting into balance. So when you get into balance, your success, meaning the success comes from thinking clearly. If you want to be successful, you have to act and be successful.
mm-hmm,
And you go, yes, but is that false advertisement to the universe? Am I fake by saying that? No, in your subconscious, you already are successful, but you've limited yourself on the outside thinking, this is all I have. This is as much as that I can do. So instead of saying that, be open to say, I'm open to every great opportunity. I accept success in whatever form it is going to be brought to me. And I align to it that it is in my wheelhouse, that I am able to deliver what that success needs. But I am smart, I am confident, I believe in myself, and I know that the confidence will be there no matter what. So
mm,
that's how you have to reboot your subconscious, or the success is really looking at, and I do this every year. I write out all my intentions that I'd like to create for 2018. Many years ago, I did that. About 7 years ago, I did that with Italy.
mm-hmm,
I said to the universe on a December 15th, I started writing. I said, I want to teach in Italy. I want all my books in Italian. I want to be on Italian TV. I want to work all over Italy. None of it was really in the cards in the, let's say, material life. I even took a trip to Milan trying to meet a publisher. They wouldn't meet me.
mm,
So that wasn't the way to get in the door to the universe. So I said, I trust. I started putting pictures of Italy on my wall. I started eating more pasta. I started hanging out
Gary.
with more Italian friends. I started watching Italian movies. I started researching what are the television shows
I
in
love
Italy.
it. Yes.
I was teaching in Switzerland, and a woman comes up to me and said, would you like to teach in Italy? I said, yes, yes, yes. She said, call this woman. I called this woman who didn't speak a word of English. I said, ciao, Rosanna, come sta? Sono Gary Quinn in Los Angeles. And she said, great, I want to book you. Just based on that one sentence. And the rest is history. I've taught all over Italy. All my books are in Italian. I write for an Italian magazine. I've been on
I
there, Good
love
Morning
that.
America, and it's Italy. And it's the energy. Because I believed it, I received it.
And how long did it take from wanting it to actually manifesting that
3 years.
workshop? Wow,
Three.
so it's really you just kept on going for
You have to be
3 years.
persistent. You cannot give up.
Wow, that's impressive. That's very impressive. All right, so that's what the success frequency is like, just basically visualizing. In your case, it was like
Basically
Italy.
visualizing it, basically becoming the feeling. I had to become the emotional state of mind. How would I feel if I was teaching in Italy? Well, I would feel excited. I would feel happy. I would start to, start checking out more things in Italy. I would learn more Italian. So I started to become the part, and then the universe found the timing, the people, and the events. And so when I went to Italy on the first time, there was 1,000 people at this conference. I spoke about the yes work for 25 minutes. After I spoke, I had people coming up to me with cards. Come to Milan, come to Rome, da 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 da. I could have never orchestrated it so efficiently.
Wow.
That was the trust. And once again, in the success frequency, you have to trust. You
Hmm.
must trust yourself. You must trust the universe that there's a higher power that flows through you. It doesn't matter whether you believe in God, Jesus, Kuan Yin, Mother Mary, angels. It's about belief in you.
Right.
You tune into the higher energies. There is a energy that is a cause and effect. So the belief has to be active. You must believe. And that's the hard part for people because they give up.
Hmm.
Their energy goes down. They get sad. They start to feel it's not going to happen. So you have to really keep the energy moving.
Okay, so that's what the success factor is. It's living your vision, is what we're talking about.
Yes.
And the purification frequency, what is that?
Purification frequency is doing the forgiveness work, but starting to monitor your behavior of what you're eating,
Mm,
what you're drinking, and what your exercise program is. Are you doing yoga? Are you doing meditation? Are you doing something that brings your body, mind, and soul into balance? It's sort of the last piece of the puzzle.
mm,
If you're eating hamburgers, pizza, and staying out all night drinking, you're not going to be purified. You're going to be a mess. So, you must get into this energy of feeling healthy, wellness, and inspiring your body to be fit. If you're
mm,
not fit, you're not going to be the best you.
right.
So that's the purification, is to take action, and that means start to exercise. I don't care if it's swimming, dancing, Pilates, hula dancing, skydiving, whatever. something something that underwater basket weaving. It
Right.
doesn't matter.
Right.
It's it's anything that puts you into I'm taking action, doing something good for my body,
Hmm.
good for my mind, good for my
Hmm.
soul.
I love it. Okay, so we've done kind of a very high level summary of your book, the Yes Frequency, and you're coming to East West Bookstore on the 19th, from 7:30 to 9. What's going to happen during that workshop?
It's going to uplift, inspire, and change people's minds and activate a power of yes in them. So if they are,
So is it like an attunement of some sort?
yes, I think it's a spiritual balance of cleansing, but it's an activation of the word and the energy. And like I say, I'm just going to come and let the energy take over. I don't
Uh,
have any control of it. I know I have to be fine tuned to be there.
Yeah, you don't even know if you're going to be talking about this book, frankly,
I
from
don't
what I can tell. Basically, from what I can tell.
know. It's a
It
surprise.
is a surprise. Come, know that you'll get something. I was sharing beforehand. I could feel your energy just from the moment I woke from yesterday when I read this, like at 4, all the way to my meditation this morning, all the way till before the interview. There's so much energy just even getting the book. Whether you're listening and you want to get a beam of sunshine and light,
Yes,
high wattage light,
yes, yes.
come
And
at you. Read this book.
if people would like to get a free audio of the 100 affirmations and the yes work, I'm happy to send them a free download link.
Oh,
They can just
fantastic.
go to
Okay.
the website garyquinn.tv, and they can just send me a note and said they heard me on your show, and I will send them the link for the companion audio CD that goes with that book.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you so much. This was just so much fun. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, CJ, and I look forward to hopefully see you in Seattle.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be. I don't know if I'm here on the 19th, but I think I am. So I
Okay,
will see you.
great.
Yeah, thank you so
Great.
much.
Great. All
Ciao.
right. So,
Ciao.
ciao, ciao. Yes, yes, yes. Activate this joy and this love in your life.
It means so much to me that you're listening to the show and love your support in any way by giving me comments below or to subscribe to the show or share the show with friends. Thank you again for your support, love, and blessings.